you think this is starting to wear on me? You've been raining down like hell. I'm weak. I have tried to give you my soul, but you can't love something you own. It's too late to repair what we made. What can I do? Time flashed by and I woke up on the other side of the moon. The sun don't rise, all the light is gone.
G'day everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Anna and this is You Got Me in Stitches. Crikey, I have not said those words for a whole bunch of time. It has been a little while, hasn't it? Since December 24th was my last video. As you can see, the sun is well and truly blazing in the sky. Alright, so I am going to talk a little bit about kind of why I have not been here for a little while, and yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Maybe it might be a little bit uncomfortable for some people to listen to, so if you do not want to listen, then obviously skip that part and jump to the next. And also I am going to turn the camera around because you do not need to see this ugly face. Let's look at some beautifulness, plants and trees and sunshine and clouds and everything more wonderful and nature and calm. Okay, so let's get lost a little bit in the beauty of the day. And yeah, obviously some of you guys are fully aware that sometimes I receive some PMs, and the content of those PMs can kind of leave kind of a little bit of a nasty taste in the stomach and mind and thought process and everything like that. Some of those people, for whatever reason, do not actually leave negative comments, because I guess that is because obviously there are going to be others that would defend that person, no matter what vlogger or blogger that is out there. And yeah, so they kind of take that next step and decide to send you personal messages. Now obviously, probably for the most part, a lot of these people are just randoms and have nothing else better to do. However, sometimes the content kind of suggests that maybe you know of them or through them, or at least that's how they kind of make their message sound to you. Obviously for those people that kind of do that, it's because they are drawing on the hope that if they bring in other people as examples, then it makes for their argument, for lack of a better word, to feel more powerful or evoke perhaps emotions to the recipient, to hopefully make them feel sad or angry or disappointed or more worthless than perhaps they may already feel about themselves. So coupled with all that, it kind of makes for a very sad feeling, and obviously it can run all different kinds of levels of emotions for the recipient and or recipients, depending if it's obviously more than one. And obviously maybe some of you guys are familiar with sometimes how you can be made to feel by others in life, not just through people who vlog. I mean, in everyday circumstance, sometimes people who you think are your friends, when ultimately they have kind of a hidden agenda, and perhaps later you find out that they are not really your friends. And yeah, they can obviously end up betraying you, especially if you have confided in them, and they can let you down in obviously varying different ways. And sometimes it depends on who they are and the friendship in what it is that they have kind of done in a negative way. Sometimes it can be forgivable, sometimes not so. But again, as much as you can, sometimes politely tell them that you're not happy with said negative, and you do your best to kind of explain that. Sometimes they are the ones that tend to get offended, and for whatever reason, then they kind of twist things around and make you feel like you are the bad guy and they have not done anything wrong, and how dare you wrong them. And then it's like, huh? How did that happen? And yeah, and then you are kind of forever playing back up and walking on eggshells, and they kind of backpedal and use other circumstances that have absolutely no relevance at all to the situation, just to kind of feel better about themselves, when actually somewhere lost in translation is, no, you are actually the bad guy, you did wrong, and kind of you have to suck it up, take responsibility, be accountable, and hopefully apologise. And if you can move on, then obviously move on. If not, then yeah, there's not a lot that you can really do, really. Sometimes you can kind of move past that, move on, and it does not hold any sort of glitches. Or sometimes there's kind of always that little bit of an undercurrent, and it sometimes cannot always be repairable. Obviously we are all very, very different, and we handle things a whole bunch different from one another. And yeah, obviously you can kind of only go on the call at the time and make decisions and hope that it's correct. Well, it will only be correct at the time. Obviously things change, circumstances change, sometimes for the better, sometimes not. Obviously I know it's different if you have not met somebody and they are complete strangers, and I guess it's a little bit easier. However, they kind of think that they know you and or own you, and that they can judge and gossip. And I know there's that kind of famous quote that, you know, with gossips, you know, oh, it's none of my business, so you don't kind of take any notice of them. That is okay to a certain point. However, if it gets to the situation when it does affect a person, then obviously it is very much your business, because yeah, there are some really treacherous people out there that for whatever reason really go out their way to kind of be really horrible, and then you kind of have to work incredibly hard to kind of undo all the negativity and correct everything. And then you always get those people that will always believe the kind of negative that happened originally. You see it so much in kind of the world of all the high profile people, and yeah, it really is quite tragical and so sad for those people that obviously have to endure things like that, and so unnecessary. And it's almost like sometimes the friends that you thought that you had, and yeah, they are nowhere to be seen. And I kind of always sort of thought that, you know, a friend is someone you laugh with, you cry with, you stick together, support each other, love each other, care, you know, share everything, you know, pick up the phone and talk. And yeah, kind of social media for the most part has kind of taken a lot of that away, and it's kind of the times and everything that is changing. And yeah, people think, oh yeah, you know, they've got loads of friends, they've got 1,000 followers or 10 million followers. Yeah, they are not your friends, they are just some randoms that are following you for whatever their agenda and or interest is. And yeah, you have never met them, highly likely that you would ever meet them. To me, that does not really kind of make a friend. However, sometimes, yes, you can be very, very fortunate and you can meet people, and yeah, friendships can be formed. But again, sometimes behind the scenes, things are not always as they seem and or appear. It does not take a couple seconds just to check in on somebody, see how they are and if everything is okay. Yeah, things like that are priceless and very much appreciated by a lot of people. And yeah, I think sometimes we kind of have lost sight in that kind of this new world, this new generation of everything. And yeah, I mean, again, I know a lot of people perhaps do not experience anything like that, and some people obviously do. rarely, or sometimes a lot more than other people. And look how beautiful Rene is. If everything could be so simple and calm and beautiful, enchanting and graceful. We do live in a world, obviously there's lots of good people, wonderful, awesome, fantastic people, but also we do share the world of some negative people, bad people, horrendous people, and then some. And all we can kind of do is just navigate through and do the best we can for the short time that we are on this planet, and kind of just enjoy as much as we can, and yeah, finding friendships and pleasure in doing our hobbies or interests and exploring all the things that find us enjoyment. I know I've obviously touched upon things like this before in some of my previous videos, and believe me guys, I know all too well firsthand my whole entire life, for the most part, I have received all the negativity a person could ever receive on all different levels, all different people, all different circumstances. So yeah, I've kind of got a lot of experience behind me. But yeah, sometimes it really does get a little bit too much, a little bit overwhelming. And yeah, that's kind of why I have taken myself out of the situation a little bit with the vlogging, because obviously did not want to have some of these negative things keep continuing. And also I do not think that sometimes these people realise that, you know, for some of us we have a whole bunch of things going on in our everyday lives, sometimes very serious things, and you know, that kind of needs to be taken into account. You know, obviously negative people do not think like that, because that is why they're negative. There is nothing about their heartstrings, because they do not really have heartstrings, or any kind of reasonable or any consciousness to, you know, take on thoughts to what they are doing and the impact that it has after they have sent these messages. I am very much of a personality. Maybe perhaps a lot of it has come through all the things that have shaped me and changed me and everything like that. And obviously initially sometimes you do kind of have to look at a situation and evaluate it as much as you possibly can. And yeah, sometimes it's really obvious that some people are just really nasty, whilst others maybe that they might have learning difficulties, maybe they just are abrupt and perhaps old-fashioned, and their delivery could be a lot better. And sometimes I kind of pull a little bit on my own heartstrings and kind of guilt myself into thinking, oh, you know, maybe they didn't really mean it, or things like that. Or, you know, friends over the years that have been really nasty, and it's like, no, you got to stop. At the end of the day, a person can only take so much, and you kind of do have to go with that instinct if, you know, these negative people are going to continue with their negativity. Obviously it's a lot harder when you have started to make friends, because obviously we do kind of, for the most part, put up with a lot rather, and yeah, tolerate things perhaps more from friends than we ought to really, and find ourselves kind of forgiving them or taking a blind eye to things like that. But also at the end of the day, when you start to get to know people, to take our own responsibility and realise that to new friendships that, yeah, they also got to learn that there are things that we may not like, and kind of got to be respected for kind of all our little quirks and our funny ways, because humans, we really are, aren't we guys? We are a little bit fickle, and yeah, sometimes we have a little bit more higher tolerance to things than other things, and yeah, just have to kind of take that on board. And I think sometimes when people send negative personal messages, obviously that all just does not exist. They just say what they say and do not care. some people are just so self-righteous in their kind of messaging beliefs, and their word is their word, and their examples are just so, and their beliefs and everything like that. And yeah, it can kind of sometimes make for some really stressful, shall we say, upsetting reading. And at the end of the day, these people do not know me or anything about me, so I have no idea how they can be so judgmental on how I look, how I sound, because obviously with the mixed accent, and you know, sometimes the choices in the patterns that I make, the sewing. Does it really matter if the patterns that I make and my sewing skill level is the level that it is? At the end of the day, you do you, I do me, and that is it really. And you know what, I've heard all of this before. I've heard so many nasty things, and I've kind of, for the most part, got kind of a thick-skinned, and I guess it's the delivery. If somebody says, you know, that pattern, perhaps, you know, do this instead of that, and then some people outrightly say, oh, you know what, you look, I will not say the curse words, but really ugly in that, and yeah, you do not have the best figure for things like that, and that you look like a total dag, and all the other things, that, you know, you're not good enough to have fabric like that, and you are not good enough to be around some of the other sewists, and you know, you're not thought of, and you are not liked by them. That is why you are overlooked, and you do not get accepted. Even if some of that is true, you know, at the end of the day, no one should kind of, you know, push that in your face and put that in your thought process. You know, there are so many variables to that, and I really do not know what to kind of have to say, or really do I need to say anything, because I do not need to justify myself. You know, we are all different. Humans, for the most part, do have this default thing in them that they kind of gravitate towards people that look similar, have similar tastes and everything like that. And yeah, kind of everybody, for the most part, is the same mould. Well, I have never been the same mould, and I really do not intend to even want to begin to be in the same mould, because I am different, I am me, I am unique. And yeah, if I'm strange or too much out of your mould, never mind. It's like, I'm going to enjoy all the things that you are in your own trappings, in your own mould. I would rather be alone and or lonely than have and or pretend to have all these friends and everything that claim that they really are friends and or acquaintances. And sometimes people skew the lines. They've got acquaintances and they think that they are friends, when actually they are not, or nothing even close to that. But obviously kind of portray themselves of having lots of friends and lots of this and lots of that, when really in reality it is nothing like that, sadly. Yeah, I am kind of the quiet observer that lives amongst the shadows. Guys, you can really see and hear a whole bunch of things that way. People always think that they can see so much in a crowd full of tens or hundreds or thousands of people. No way, you cannot see or hear. It is absolutely impossible. Sometimes just take a step back and enjoy being in the shadows, enjoy a little bit of peace and calm, and yeah, that is really where the true reality is. And guys, really, you do not need to send me any PMs, emails, things like that, or even in the comments. I know that you good guys really are truly wonderful, and you got my back, and yeah, obviously I carry that with me. And I know a couple of you guys have messaged and asked where I am and if I am going to do any more videos. This was going to be a very different video, and this was actually going to be the end of my channel. However, I don't know, I just kind of feel the last couple of weeks that I need to come back on. Obviously explained the main absence as why I have not been around, so I kind of hope I have explained in my kind of way that I do and made sense as best I can. I know guys, I yabber on about all sorts, and I hope I do my best to kind of explain as best I can. I know a couple of you guys have asked about my new venture and how that is going. Oh my goodness, that is also another upset that has been really getting me down, and yeah, it's not good because there's now a tech issue with the site, you know, the mailing, and yeah, I have just ended up for the most part just giving everything away, and yeah, I owe a whole bunch of money and it's incredibly hard. Anybody starting new ventures will obviously understand that for the most part, and yeah, I'm not going to get into all things like that. I just hope that there's some really wonderful people that would do the wonderful thing and kind of give me a shout out and support me and do the things that kind of help little new ventures get off the ground, and yeah, kind of get myself out there, which is just so out of my comfort zone because I am somebody that is incredibly shy and quiet, so for me to do anything like I have is very, very different. I think that's the thing, isn't it? Sometimes there's a couple of things that I've seen going around and they're saying about, oh yeah, share this and, you know, talk about that and everything like that. And there was one particular lady a couple of months ago that I was talking to, and she was like, oh, you know, good luck on your new venture and everything like that. You know, you're really brave, especially with everything, with the circumstances of life and the planet and everything the way it is at the moment. And then she put something on a social media platform and giving herself a shout out and everything like that, and saying, oh, you know, do this, do that, yada yada yada. And I kind of thought to myself, okay, that's a bit hypocritical, because it's like, you know, there's other people out there as well that would equally like to be, you know, thought of and given a shout out as well. I think also that, you know, kind of rings home for quite a few of us as well. And going back to the friend thing as well, sometimes friends, they make plans with you, oh yeah, let's do this, let's go there, let's get that, yada yada yada, and then for whatever reason they do not want to, like to, and then you see them making the very plans that they made with you and doing them with everybody else, and it's like, huh? How did that happen? Really? Do I stink that much that you do not want to kind of, yeah, spend any time and or do the things that you planned with me to do, to get, to go, and all the rest of it? So yeah, this being a human, sometimes it really is hard, isn't it? Yeah, there are so many changes kind of in everybody's life, and things happen, circumstances, and yeah, I got a lot of medical things that I kind of need to go through, you know, jump all through those hoops and, you know, dot the I's and cross the T's, and I am really hoping that things will get fixed and that there is a positive result at the end of kind of this negative pathway that is kind of where I'm going down, which is really scary. I am kind of everything that everybody wants, and yet nobody really wants me. That sounds kind of a little bit profound, yet they're all over me like a rash when they want to use me and take. But again, yeah, we live in a world where there's lots of takers, and also there are a whole bunch of givers out there. Now look at this, guys. Little Rene. It's just so beautiful. I just feel so blessed to have this beautiful little bird, and how he just spends time with me. It's just amazing. And also, guys, he does have a little girlfriend, and she's called Rene. So I have two of them now to seed and talk to and spend some time with. Yeah, I feel really blessed, really enchanting. I will leave you at the end with some footage of Rena and Rene, and yeah, so she has been in his life for about 8-9 weeks now. So you never know with springtime around the corner. There we go, there's Rena. Yeah, so hopefully with springtime around the corner there may be some little chicks. Oh, that's Rene, because obviously he's literally just taking a shower. It's a little bit soggy. Rena is literally above my head. There she is. Oh, that's not very good footage there. The angle that I'm at is not helping. She's so cute. Rene is back in there now. The first shower was not enough. Rena is to the right of me looking at him. They're just so cute. There's Rena. Is she going to take a little bath? No. Rena keeps looking. She's like, She's thinking, do I eat or do I take a shower? But guys, oh my goodness, they're so beautiful to watch. So hopefully we'll have little baby Renas and Renes. Oh, it'll be so adorable. Okay guys, so I'm kind of back in front of the camera. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have not missed the things that I say that are so clearly obvious. And yeah, so kind of moving forward with my channel. Yeah, at one point it was absolutely no, that's it. I'm going to end my channel. I had everything kind of prepared. Here I am. I am still kind of in the ether of vlogging of sorts, and I think I'm just kind of finding a little bit of a struggle as to which and what videos to bring you. I mean, I have a whole host of ideas and things all written down for years. Because I struggle so much with lack of confidence, I'm scared, I guess, a little bit to, if I make these videos, they may not be good enough, and or my delivery is perhaps wrong in the way I create that said video. I think this is why I struggled a little bit to bring sew-alongs for you guys, because again, just lacking the confidence and everything like that. And also, not only that, you know, it is really hard. It's hard for most people, but when you kind of have like medical things that kind of hinder, yeah, it takes a whole bunch longer, and then the inclination kind of wanes a little bit there. But yeah, I have a whole host of things to bring you guys, and obviously on my other channel as well. I know some of you guys have found me over there, and yeah, it's just it's a bit tricky as to, I guess, you start a fire and you kind of need to keep the flame going and keep people warm and interested and lots of things like that. And yeah, I do not have to bounce a bubble like everybody else. I am just me, I am just regular, I am going to mess up, I'm going to get my delivery wrong and everything like that. That just makes me real. This is probably why you would not really ever see me during a live. I know sort of I said that one day it'll probably happen, but again, that will be because circumstances led me to do that. But oh my goodness, it's just so terrifying. And anyway, speaking of lives, some of you guys may already know that Hayley from the Hay Meadow, who is just absolutely awesome, of course, and yeah, she did her first live. It was really exciting, and yeah, she said g'day as well on camera. I did ask in the chat, obviously, and she gave a little wave and everything like that, so I just insert that there for you now. Yay! Hayley's on live. Awesome, first live. We're technically second because there was techie issues. Awesome.
I'll sneak back and I'll gather some and I'll send them to you and you can let me know. How's that? Not a delicacy at all. Okay, so let's have a look at our January Young Pink Door Box. So Andrea, I don't know if Andrea's still on, but Andrea, if you're there, we're doing this live on air because I'm under pressure. Because I've got the February Young Pink Door Box en route, and I also have the February Dahlia Society. Hi Anna, hope you're well. Hi everyone who's watching Anna's vlog.
Thank you.
A train net, so you know. Ooh.
Lots of talking, Hayley. Yak, yak, yak.
Too well, Andrea.
Yabbering on.
So
Yeah, and you can find Hayley's link down in the show notes as well. I have obviously been watching people's YouTube channels and everything like that, and kind of interacting via the comments, and yeah, you know, and TE is okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with TE whatsoever. He's just growing up way too fast, and before you know it, he's going to fly the nest and go off into the world and do his thing. And yeah, it's going to be so lonely. He'll probably bring all the laundry back, because yeah, isn't that what they do? I have been sewing some. I have. There is something huge that I have sewn. Not huge in the sense of it one large item. Huge as in there's a whole bunch, and I know this is so annoying, and you just cannot know about it just yet. So I'm just going to give you a little little bit of a tease there. So hopefully in a few weeks I can start kind of, yeah, showing you guys what that is all about. And yeah, I will insert a little bit of footage for you guys to see what I have been actually sewing, which was yesterday, a few days ago, and yeah, little bits. This video is going to be way too long, so I cannot put everything in. The gingham fabric that you will see, oh my goodness, I really lucked out on that. I did. And I was given that fabric for free, and it's just so beautiful. I love gingham as it is, but it is multi-coloured. I mean, guys, that is just so awesome. So yeah, you'll be able to see what I kind of created. It's a bit of a mesh between two patterns, and yeah, I was kind of playing around a little bit. Day before yesterday I was going to change up the bodice part even more, but in the end I just decided, nah, I'll just keep it as is. No idea how often I will put a video out on this channel. Obviously I know it used to be kind of every single week. It may run like that for a little while. It also may roll every 2 weeks, or just maybe simply once a month. Right, I think I am now going to stop boring with my yakking, because yeah, I know, I just and for those of you that want to send me a PM and think I am just going after a sympathy card, you can just go do one. As far as I am concerned, for those that really know me, no, I am not like that at all, and have never been like that. I just wanted to explain to the few that maybe need a little bit of an explanation and understanding as to why I took a little bit of time out, and how things are not always as they seem. Because sometimes, like with editing, it's almost like some people can just do that kind of in real life and kind of give the false illusion of reality, when really, no, reality is really hard hitting. It is not as pretty and wonderful and everything like that. So yeah, I just do things as they truly are, because I'm honest and truthful. If you do not like that, do not PM me and yeah, send all your criticisms and everything like that, and your dislike of me, because yeah, what is the point? You're just wasting your energy, really. Anywho, righto, it is it. I'll leave you sicking and flapping from Rene and Rene. Righto guys, thank you as always. Take care, and if the sun is shining where you are, let it shine, let it warm you up. Take care guys, thank you so much. Wow, you really going to eat that, Rene? You know, Rene's about. Oh, Rene and Rene. Oh, that's adorable. Ah, Rena's on the wall. Here she comes. Hey, Rene. Hey, Rene. Ah, you got your fruit. Rene. Hey, Rene. Okay, so the traffic does not disappoint, or the sun. It is absolutely scorching. Yep, traffic, play, look at it. My first video. Welcome back to Noise.